Hey everyone. Hey, having a little bit of an issue right now. For some reason, LinkedIn is not responding. I was trying to stream to LinkedIn, so I'm gonna have to just do another stream to LinkedIn after this is over. For some reason, it's just not connecting. So, having a little bit of some technical issues here, but I'm trying to get it fixed so that we can take off. We do have people tuning in from YouTube. We are streaming live on our Facebook page, and we're going to talk about marketing through economic crisis today. We're glad to have everybody that's here. Um, so bear with me as I try to figure out here if LinkedIn is gonna connect or not. It doesn't look like it is. So I'm just gonna forget about LinkedIn for now, and I'm gonna concentrate on you guys uh, at YouTube. And so let me get my chat thing pulled up here so I can see if you guys are actually talking to me or not. See your questions come through. So it looks like we are connected. Lean Labs, Facebook, and YouTube channel. If you can hear me, just let me know. You can hear me loud and clear. You just type something in the chat and I will see it come through. Um, just want to make sure everything is working right. We're actually using, this is a funny story, we're actually using some live stream software that is um, normally on, I mean, it works on YouTube, and I mean, it works on Windows and not Mac, and I am a Mac user, so everything that I'm trying to do on Windows right now is kind of confusing, but I will get used to it as we do this more and more. So thank you for everybody for being on here. Thank you, Melanie and Quiet Professionals. Thank you everybody for letting me know that you can hear me. We're just going to take off with this. I do have some slides. They're not beautiful and pretty, but the main thing is that I want to deliver as much value as possible today, because if you are like just about every other business in the world right now, you're experiencing some. Hey Danielle, yeah, I sent out another email with a link. For some reason, um, our stream to the event didn't actually work, and it was working and then it stopped working, so I had to restart it. When I restarted it, it created another link, so I sent out another email. Sorry for the confusion. I also put a new embed link into the broadcast page, so hopefully people can find it on there. We have a few people trickling in. I'm not sure how many are on Facebook right now. LinkedIn is still not streaming, but we're going to go with it anyway. I don't want to waste your time. No, everybody's working from home, probably on this. That's a new thing, right? Except for us at Lean Labs, we're a distributed team, so I actually work from home all the time. However, I usually kind of try to go out to coffee shops and stuff and get out of the house a little bit, and I'm not able to do that anymore. I live in Seattle, and our governor just kind of locked down everything, locked down all the coffee shops and restaurants a few weeks ago, or I don't. It seems like a long time ago, but it was only a week or so ago. And then he also did the kind of shelter in place order a couple days ago. So we're now sheltered down here in Seattle, but we're going to keep working anyway. And uh, and so we're going to jump into this. So I know this is kind of a weird time for everyone, and I'm going to cut back and forth from our slides so you can kind of see the slides and everything. But we're basically going to be talking about marketing through crisis today, and what does that look like? Really, if you look at the, I guess first I should introduce myself. I'm Ryan Scott, the CMO of Lean Labs. If you didn't know me, I know you've been getting my emails, but this is my face, and I'm the CMO of Lean Labs, and and it's interesting. I don't think any of us have marketed through a situation like this in our lifetime. Um, and so it's really interesting. Actually, Danielle, thank you. You're actually coming from Facebook, so thank you for that comment. Everybody on YouTube didn't see that comment, but so we have people talking to us from Facebook, and we have people talking to us through YouTube. LinkedIn is still not working. I don't know why. but we'll take care of that later. So I am the CMO of Lean Labs, and since this is times that we've never experienced before, it's causing us to kind of look at things in a different way than we ever have before, and that's really what I want to talk to you about today. I want to talk to you about kind of marketing through times like this. I don't know if we'll ever actually go back to life as normal or not. I honestly don't know what to think is going to happen over the next couple of weeks. You have some economic people saying this is going to last for months. Some people, President Trump was saying that he would like business to be back to normal by Easter Sunday. People are saying that's a long shot, if not just dreaming. We honestly don't know what is going to be the total impact of this economic crisis right now. And we have clients in some industries, such as live streaming, are actually doing very well. Other industries are just getting hurt really, really bad. We have a client who just experienced a huge loss from their clients because all of their clients are just shutting down to zero. So all of their revenue streams pretty much are getting cut across the board, and they're hurting really bad right now. And I just spoke to another client yesterday or the day before, and they're taking drastic measures. They're sending people on paid time off. They're cutting salaries. The executive board is cutting salaries, and they're doing everything they can not to lay people off. And we're doing the same thing at Lean Labs. We're hey, Srinath, I hope I pronounced that right. Yes, I am going to send the recording out. Sorry for your internet issues. I will send the recording out to everyone after this is over as well. And I'm going to do another one of these too, coming soon. This is kind of version number 1, but I'm going to do another one of these, and probably several more, trying to help people through this. So the recording will be available. But looking out at everything, one of the first things that you notice when you go through a time like this is that one of the first things that gets cut is the marketing budget. So it kind of goes down to zero, but at the same time, businesses are hurting. They're hurting for business, but then they're cutting marketing budget. It's just a difficult time. Like, what do you do with this? And that's what I want to talk about today. What happens after you slash your budgets? What happens after you make those cuts? What happens after you send half of your team home or all of your team home, right? What can you expect to happen? Is your business going to grow, or are you going to sit back and just kind of ride it out? Are you going to hunker down and try to survive? Everyone's trying to figure this out. But what really happens in economic times like this is that innovation takes off. And out of pain, out of necessity comes a lot of innovation. And so what's going to happen is when we do come out of this, there are going to be companies that took the opportunity to retool, took the opportunity to pivot, took the opportunity to figure some things out and innovate new things. And those companies, when all of the dust settles, are going to be miles ahead of the companies that kind of just hunkered down and stayed still. So that's kind of what this training is about. We don't want people, we don't want you, we don't want our clients, we don't want our future clients to hunker down and just kind of ride it out. We want to kind of pull ourselves back and say, how can we turn this into an opportunity to gain market share? How can we turn this into an opportunity in spite of our slashed budgets, in spite of all of the things that we are facing? How can we take this and turn it into an opportunity? And so I want to help us today kind of flip our mindset, if that's possible. I want you to stop thinking, if you've been thinking about this as, this is terrible, I don't know what we're going to do. If you've been thinking of this as, we're laying off workers and it's just, I don't know if we're going to survive, I want to put that on pause for the rest of this stream. Put those feelings, put those emotions on pause, and pretend, if you have to pretend, that you are a consultant brought into your company that is going to help you through this crisis, not just to survive it, but to thrive through it. Pretend that you are that consultant coming in and allow your mind to think of this crisis in a different way. And if you can help me do that for a little bit, I want to shift our thinking from crisis mode to creative mode for just a little while, and let's talk about what we can do. One of the great exercises that you can do, if in personal life, spiritually, all the different things. One of the greatest things you can do is get a clear picture of what kind of person, what kind of company, what kind of team that you want to be, what kind of a leader you want to be. Get a clear picture of what that is, and work in reverse. Be that kind of person, be that kind of team, be that kind of company, and you'll naturally achieve that goal just by becoming the kind of company that achieves that goal, if that makes sense. And so I want to pull us over and ask us this question. If 2020 ended up being the greatest opportunity for your company ever, what would that look like? What would it look like? While, everybody else was laying people off, while everybody else was, going bankrupt, while everybody else was suffering, while everybody else was crashing. If on the other side of this, your company discovered an opportunity or a way to not only save all your jobs, but to kind of thrive, grow, increase market share, all of those things that we're trying to do in a normal time. If we were to win, what would that look like? What would that look like if we were looking back, right? If it's 2023 and we were so successful that now we're showing other people how we did it, what would that look like? What are the opportunities that we can retool and rethink this crisis and turn it into an opportunity for advancement? And that's kind of where we're at right now. And that's what I wanted to talk about, because the reality is, now, some of this is going to sound kind of, it's a balance, right? Because there are people hurting. And there's people that have lost their jobs. There's people that are losing everything. And so I want to can we just pause that for a little bit so I don't have to walk on eggshells as I talk? I want to talk business, and businesses survive because they grow, right? So is that okay? Just let me know in the chat if I have freedom to talk in aspirational and not be completely walking on eggshells about the emotional side of it. I want to talk about turning it into an opportunity, if that's okay. Just type something in the chat. I know we got people out there. I don't want you to be completely disengaged. You're home alone. Your kids are in the background screaming somewhere. Your dog is trying to get your attention and make you play with it. But I want to make sure that you're tuned in here. Nobody's typing anything. I know you're out there. There we go. There we go. You're here for that's exactly right. Thank you, Anne, Anne Marie, and Danielle. Thank you. We are here for inspiration. We don't want to feel bad about this. Thank you, guys. So if we had opportunity to grow, what would that look like? And this is where I think a lot of companies are going to, thank you, Camille. Yes, it helps to think bigger. This time will pass. Let's not let crisis, even if it's really affecting our company, let's rise above it for a few minutes and aspire for something greater. Thank you, guys. Here's what happens a lot of times in organizations of all sizes, from startups to enterprises. You get a lot of systems in place that kind of become sacred cows, right? And a sacred cow is kind of a religious term for, this is something we worship, and therefore, if anybody says take this cow away, we're like, no, that's something we worship. We got to keep it. And even if that cow's never done anything for you, we still want to keep it because it's a sacred cow. So that's the term if nobody's familiar with that. But there can be pet projects and pet systems and things, from the VP down to the new marketing manager. This is our little baby project, and we want to make sure it goes. But during times like this, when we're slashing the budget across the board, those pet projects kind of get put on hold, and suddenly we're open because we have to cut the budget. And so it's not of should we keep this or not. People are slashing the budget all the way across the board. We can look at that as an opportunity now to really look at what's been working and cut off everything that hasn't been working, and then try to figure out how are we going to maximize our impact for growth. Um, and so I want to talk to you about a 4-step framework that we're using and that you can use as well to help your company go. So I'm just going to be open and honest with you. We've had some clients over the past couple of weeks that have had to stop working with us because their revenue streams have completely shut down. And so we're putting this practice into place as well. We're we're going into the thing where we're not iterating how we do business at Lean Labs. We're pivoting. We are going back to the drawing board and say, okay, how do we get creative and move through this? And one of the most inspiring things is even the company I was talking to yesterday, one of our clients, an amazing person, an amazing company, but they were talking about how they're cutting salaries, they're sending people home, they're asking for people to take vacations, they're doing all of these, just pulling out all the stops and trying to make it where they don't have to lay off anyone. It's painful. The person I was talking to, they took a pay cut. I don't know how big, but it's obvious that everyone's feeling this pain. But at the same time, this is what's so amazing. At the same time, this company, with their skeleton crews and slash budgets and everything, they're going out and trying to find instances where they can give away their service and their products and their expertise to companies that are making a difference in the world. And that's exactly, we've started talking to some of our clients. We have clients in the healthcare industry. We have, connections in some of these industries that are really helping. And, even though we're losing some of our clients, we're trying to figure out, well, how can we do something that's going to help this crisis and lend my expertise? Because I'm not a doctor. That would be the most frightening thing ever if I tried to go volunteer to treat someone, but I'm a marketer. How can I use this to help? And so there's all kinds of inspiring stories coming out of this. But let's talk about opportunity. How are we at Lean Labs flipping this to opportunity, and how can you at your company flip this into an opportunity and think creatively instead of in crisis mode? So let's talk about a 4-step framework that we're putting in place so that we can win and be stable and move forward in spite of the disaster that's going on in the economy, despite all of the things that are going on in the world. What is the 4-step framework that we're going to use? And it's actually very easy to remember. It's called COIN. COIN, COIN. That is a well, now that term just completely, but each word stands for something. We're going to go through the 4-step process, but remember, it's COIN. And please do not judge me for forgetting what that word is. I've got the word alliteration in my mind, and I know that's not right. Abbreviation, I know that's not right. But hey, I'm trying to live stream and control all of this. I can't think of correct words at the same time. So let's talk about this. Now, again, we're approaching this as we're a consultant coming in, an outside source coming in. We don't have, emotions. We don't have sacred cows. We don't have pet projects. We're coming in and we're going to look at what our company is doing with a fresh set of eyes, with a fresh intention to find ways that acronym, thank you, goodness gracious. We're going to find ways that we can grow, get creative through this. So let's just talk through this 4-step process. The very first step is conserve. Maybe we can write these down. Conserve. This is where we're going to go through, and some of you have already done this practice already, but this is where we're going to go through, and we're going to look at everything that we've been spending money on, everything that we've been investing in, all of the things that we have in place in marketing. What are our paid ads? Let's cut back where we can. What How much are we publishing, and is our blog posts actually adding the return that we can measure, or should we cut back on publishing? Are we doing podcast episodes and investing in that? Where are we spending money and time, and what area is actually delivering? So most of the time, if you're like most companies, you're going to tune into an ad campaign, and you're going to have a bunch of paid ads, and you're going to have some that you really like because you think the offer is great, and then you're going to have some that are just performing really well. But go through, this is a time where you can really get rid of those. I have a story of a huge, like, nationwide, or they're global, limousine company, a global limousine company. If I said their name and you've ever taken limousines, you probably heard of them. But this limousine company was getting most of their business from their paid advertising, pay-per-click on Google. That's where they were getting most of their business, or so they thought. They had these ads running for years. And thanks, Kay. Everybody's telling me that it's acronym. Thank you. That escaped my brain. But they've been running these paid ads for years, and they brought in a marketing consultant, which I got to work with for a little while. He's the one that was telling me the story. They brought in this marketing consultant, and he was like, "Let's take a look at your paid ads." And they're like, "Oh no, that's like the only part of our business that's working really well." And he said, "I want to look at it anyway. Let's see what's working, what's not. Let's take an audit of your paid ad campaign." And after he got done with the audit, what he discovered was that they actually were losing money on their paid ad campaigns. The amount that they were spending versus the amount of actual business coming from that, when they audited it, they were spending more than they were making from the paid ads. They would have never thought of that because they just thought, we're paying for ads, it's bringing us traffic, it's bringing us business, and so let's do more of it. And they were shocked to find out that they were actually hurting because of their paid ads. And that doesn't mean they shouldn't be doing paid ads, but what it meant was, now that they realized that, hey, this isn't working as well as we thought, they went into conserve mode and said, which ads are bringing the highest ROI, which ads are bringing the lowest, which ads are not performing well at all. Let's just cut the ones that are not bringing the high ROI. And even if we're left with one ad, or maybe we have to go back to the drawing board and create a new one, but even if we're just left with one ad, if that ad is driving a positive ROI, let's keep that and cut everything else. And do the same with your social media marketing. Do the same with your content marketing. Do the same with everything that you do. Now is the time to look at what you're actually paying money into and go into conserve mode. Cut the things that are not bringing an actual business return, and kind of mark the ones that you want to keep. And I encourage you to cut with a machete right now. These are serious economic times. The market is recovering. We don't know what's going to happen, but everything is in flux right now. So don't look at something like, I really want to keep this just because I'm emotionally attached to the idea. Look at the data and conserve. The fact that marketing budgets are one of the first things that gets cut is actually a smart thing to do, as long as your marketing doesn't get locked down because of it. There's all kinds of things that you can do that doesn't require investing a ton of money if you're smart about it. So the very first thing is to conserve. Go on an audit. Everything that you spend on, audit it. You want to look at how much you're spending on it, and then you want to look at the entire funnel all the way through. This is important because it's not about the cost per click. It's not about the click-through rate. It's the entire funnel all the way through. So you need to audit your actual ads. You need to audit your targeting. You need to audit where those ads are pointing. What happens when someone clicks through and gets onto the landing page? How is that conversion rate going? When someone converts on that offer, are they actually paying money, or do you have to nurture them through? Do you have to get them on a sales call? Audit the entire steps of everything that you're doing. and take the advantage of the fact that everybody's wanting to cut now to take the time to do that. You might never get an opportunity to audit and cut like this ever again, because if business was just business as usual, things are moving so fast and you got things going. This is an opportunity to trim your company down and get it healthy again when it comes to marketing spend. And so take the time. And sometimes it's painful, and sometimes you have to, especially if you don't have the metrics that you need, if you don't have the insight you need. Hopefully a lot of you are on HubSpot. I don't know, you might be on WordPress, you might be on all the other different options. HubSpot, I really like all of the data that you can get from HubSpot, but this is the time where you measure everything. Measure everything. And if you can't measure something, probably cut it, right? Because you don't know if it's working or not. So audit all of that, and all of the information that you get for all of the campaigns that you think that you should keep is going to take us to the next step. So the very first thing you do is go into conservation mode and audit everything, cut the things that aren't working, cut the things that you can't measure if they're working or not. Just slash away everything, and the things that you think you should keep, we're going to take on to step 2. Okay, so once you get to step 2, that's when we go from C to O, which is optimize. And this is where all of the information that you gleaned from your audit comes into play, because now you're taking the things that you want to keep, and now we're optimizing them. And again, you gotta take the opportunity to go deep into this. A lot of people that are listening to this, they're going to run off and they're going to say, okay, we got to conserve. So we're going to just cut all these things. They're going to look at everything on the surface, and then they're going to say, okay, we got to optimize. And we're looking at this, and we're going to change our ad text here, and we're going to change the headline on our landing page. Boom, we've optimized. And that's kind of where they're going to be. But take the opportunity. This is a serious economic crisis. Take the opportunity to go deep into optimization. And what I mean by deep optimization is, again, at every step. I'm going to show you one thing. If I can bring up my web browser in a second, it's going to take me some work to do this. So I want to introduce it first. But every step of the way in your entire marketing engine, every single thing that has been done, every deliverable, everything that's out there that your client or prospect is going to touch needs to be optimized. This is a great opportunity. If something is bringing a 2x ROI, this is your opportunity to take that to 10x, right? If it's at 10x, this is your opportunity to try to increase that as well. And this is how you win through the crisis. You get creative with everything that's working. How do we make that work, 10 times better? And so taking an ad campaign as an example, this is where I would go and I would say, okay, on this ad campaign, how well am I targeting this? Am I targeting people that actually matter? What's my click-through rate? Higher click-through rate means lower ad cost in many cases. What's my ad score? What keywords am I bidding on, and can I narrow that down to exact match maybe, or just audit your ads and come up with changes. And this is the rule that you have to work by. I'm going to write this down because I don't have a slide for it, and I hope I spelled it right, but this is the rule you have to work with. You have to use the scientific method. If you're not going to use the scientific method, you're wasting your time because you're just hoping that you get lucky. What I mean by the scientific method is you have to measure if you're being successful or not. So when you're saying, okay, I'm going to change this about this ad and try to make it work better, you need to come up with a hypothesis. I'm going to change this headline, and I think it's going to increase my click-through rate by 3%, or, whatever it is. And then run it for a week and see if that actually works. And you can do this all across the line, but everything that you intend to do in your optimization, come up with a hypothesis so you can track it. because if you change something and it performs worse, you're introducing waste into the system. And in an economic crisis, you can't have waste in the system. Waste is something that you just cannot do, right? So I'm going to go from every step. So using the paid ad thing again, I'm looking at the actual ad, the copy, the image, the video, everything, and trying to get insight into how can I make this perform better, come up with a hypothesis, make the change, and then move to the next step. After they click the ad, where do they go, right? Do they go to this landing page? What is on this landing page? Is my ad and landing page congruent? Is my landing page saying the same message that my ad was saying? If I change my ad message to make it perform better, do I have to change the landing page? You see where I'm going? When they convert, what happens then? Follow that funnel all the way through and find opportunities for optimization. Opportunities where your landing page could be performing better, your nurturing could be performing better. And then once you have all of these optimized, what you're doing is you're taking the things that are working and you're removing waste from the system. And we want to remove as much as possible so that every dollar that we spend is being maximized. That's the deal. Every dollar that you spend on your marketing, that means your company is paying you a salary to market. Every dollar that goes into your pocket needs to be maximized in effectiveness. That's just where we're at right now. So with that being said, you go through and optimize everything. The next thing is where things actually get fun and you can actually get creative, and that is to innovate. So we've had conserve, cutting, we've had optimizing the things that are working, and now innovating. And this is where you can actually not just find ways to survive, but find ways to thrive. And so talking again, you gave me permission to just talk aspirational, talk business here. Let's talk cutthroat business, right? If you're in an industry where all of your competitors are going into survival mode, what can we come up with that is going to not just help us survive, but gain market share? What can we do that's going to increase our footprint in the marketplace? What can we do that's going to bring more visibility, more brand awareness, more appreciation for our product into the marketplace? And there's all different kinds of ways to do this. Every economic crisis, someone innovates and it ends up pushing them further along. Right now, our CEO is actually recording his own training on the coin framework, and we're going to be giving that out as a webinar as well. And one of the stories that he's telling in that training is how in the last kind of recession that they went through, everyone was going into survival mode, and there was one client in particular that wanted to innovate, and they kind of switched everything up, and he can tell the story much better. That training is going to be coming out really soon, and you'll get an email about that. You can watch his walkthrough of that. But he took a company that decided we're going to innovate instead of locking down, and they went from, I think, 1.5 million in revenue a year to like 3 point something. And I mean, that's a huge increase through the recession, because not that they just went out spending and gambling and hit, a lucky number, but because they decided to go through this process of cutting everything, optimizing everything, and then innovating to see what new thing could they try. And this is really where you can have a lot of fun with this, is look at all of your offers in your funnel. And when I say funnel, I mean your entire marketing thing. I don't know what industry. If you want, you can throw your industry up here in chat. I know there is a delay, so I'm going to be patient with that. But throw an industry up. We might use it as an example. But across the board, what you're leading everybody to, even if you have different business units, you're leading everyone to paying you money, right? So across the board, there is this funnel that's coming in that you're trying to lead your customers to. And if you're doing traditional inbound, and let's just hone in on that traditional inbound. you're doing content marketing, you're probably doing some paid advertising and, um, social media and things like that, but you're producing stuff so that you bring people in. Um, and all of that works, but let's just say, content marketing, someone finds an article that you wrote on Google and they come and they read that article, and in that article there's a call to action. They take that call to action and they convert on a landing page and they become a lead, and they get whatever you were giving them in that call to action, and then now they're a lead in your system, and you've provided them value, hopefully with the offer that they converted on. Now you're going to send them emails or call them or whatever the process is to nurture them a little bit more. And you have all of these touch points that are going out to this person that didn't know you existed until they did their Google search, but now they know you exist. And you're nurturing them, trying to get them to become a customer. Maybe that's, getting something free. Maybe it's freemium. If you're in the SaaS company, maybe you're giving them a free account, a trial account, whatever it is. You have this funnel set up, and you might cast the net wide. So you might have an offer for one use case, business case. You might have another for this other business case. And for a lot of years, people have been using like ebooks and things like that to do lead generation. We've got one industry here, management consulting, particular in the human capital specialty. I will say, like, it might be hard right now, but having that consulting through a time like this, you do have a lot of opportunity because people need help. This is uncertain times. So I think that's pronounced a Segel, millwork manufacturer from Baya, Kennedy. Let's just take management consulting as an example. You have people coming in. More than likely, you're going to be talking about things like managing people, leadership, stuff like that in your content. When people come to your website, we're using. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. I'm just gonna say. Hossein, that's your last name. I'm horrible. I didn't even know what an acronym was. Okay. So we're taking this management consulting as an example. Someone comes in through your content. Let's say you're writing content about leadership or corporate management, corporate leadership, something like that. They come in and you offer them something like, a great offer in that area might be how to evaluate consultants, or maybe the top 10 use cases where consultants bring the most value, or some kind of offer like that. They sign up for it, they get it. Now you're going to nurture them and hopefully, get a maybe it's a quote request, or maybe it's a free consultation, something like that, that's going to bring them a little bit closer to being a customer. Here's where you stop and you say, thank you. I appreciate it. Everybody's been so nice. Nobody's like trolled me yet, and I'm not asking for that, by the way. But thanks everybody for being nice on this broadcast. But what was I saying? So you have all of these traditional inbound funnels, right? You have all these people flowing through. In the Innovate case, you got to stop and say, is there anything that I can offer different? Is there anything that I can do that changes? Is there anything that I can offer that's going to move me forward? Maybe it's not an ebook, and maybe it's not a nurturing thing at all. Maybe it's there's a story. Well, I'm not going to tell the story, but maybe it's, I'm going to come in and I'm going to give you 1 week free consulting to help you through this time, and then after that, if you want to retain my services, we can talk about that. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's something completely different. But this is where you innovate ideas that your competitors are not doing, you would have never done if you weren't in this situation. And maybe it makes you pivot a little bit to what's actually needed. But this is where you innovate new ways to provide value to your customers. And it could be whatever the economic crisis is causing for your customers. Innovating here might be where you go. And it's not about, you know, profiting off a crisis. It's about providing value to them. Because, for example, Lean Labs, we're a marketing firm. We're a growth team. We do website, we do buyer journey, we do content marketing, we do the things that bring people customers. We're a business. Are we just going to shut down? And it's not just a business, but we got a lot of people that are, you know, building their livelihoods on our organization. Do we just shut down because we don't want to help people market through this? No, that's not an option, because there's people that are counting on a paycheck from Lean Labs. And then we look at our clients. Are we just trying to take their money through this crisis so that we can have a paycheck? No. They all have people that are relying on them to be successful as well. And their clients are relying on them to help them be successful as well. We're all dependent upon each other in this ecosystem. And if I can find a way, and we'll just use ourselves as an example, if I can find a way, or if someone on our team comes up with an idea that no other marketing firm in the world is doing, and it provides great value right here in this time, maybe something like this training, for example. I wasn't doing this training before. Now we're talking about it, and I know everybody's talking about it, so it might not be that great of an example. But if I can provide extreme value to help my company stay alive, and that extreme value um, helps my client stay alive, and then my client, because we're providing them that great value, helping them grow, they help their clients stay survive. Everyone depends on it. So innovate and try to think of, how can I make an opportunity here that's not just going to help me, but it's going to help my clients, and then it's going to help their clients, and innovate that way. Don't think of it as trying to maximize off a crisis or profit off a crisis. Think of it as, I'm trying to help people survive. And then the next step, I'm going to get to this question here in a second. The next step from this is to do it all right now. Do it all now. So coin, conserve, optimize, innovate right now. Don't delay. This is your opportunity. Do it now. Go into your audit, go into conservative phase right now. Start auditing today if you haven't already. And some of you have probably already done this. Do it again. Go back and look for other places to cut, other things that aren't performing, and be strict about it. Go deep into the numbers, and then start optimizing now. Just because something is working doesn't mean it can't work twice as well. Do it. And then start innovating, start thinking, get your team together, even if you have to do it online, and start asking each other, what could we do? If we were just starting business today and we had no products or offering during this time, what would we offer? If I didn't have, you know, my 5 products here or my 5 services, and I was wanting to start today in this industry, what would I offer right now? Innovate that way, and then try to capitalize on that, and do it all right now. Don't delay. You'll never have this opportunity again, more than likely. This is unique in that you can literally start from scratch and use everything that has been working to give you a little bit of momentum, but start from scratch and say, okay, what can we do to grow? What should we do to grow? And do it right now. Question is, if we can briefly touch on how we can provide that value to prospects, not only clients, without seeming like we want to profit on their hardships and this global crisis. That is a very, very good question, because it is very touchy. We've had that discussion in-house as well. How do we go, like with this training? This training could easily be, and I actually tried to get a thumbnail designed for the live training, kind of the video thumbnail. And even the one that we used, I was a little bit iffy on, because nobody wants to be looked at. And it actually hurts you if you are trying to capitalize on this crisis. You're losing a lot of good faith if you're looked at as a profiteer coming in. And so it is a very, very um, sticky situation, right? It's all, I think it all comes down to motivation and uh, and message. One of the things that you'll see that we do at Lean Labs here, we're really honing in on the economic impact, not COVID-19, right? COVID-19 is the cause, but there's a lot of people that are in the hospital. There's a lot of people, um, you know, with loved ones that they're worried about. So if I'm going in and I'm talking about, hey, let's talk about how to market, in the COVID-19 crisis, it just comes off kind of weird, right? Um, and so that's a messaging thing that we've done is let's talk about the economy, the economic impact, because that's business, right? And we're in business. We help businesses. Businesses are our clients. Let's talk about that. You just have to be really, really careful. But if your motivations are right, and like I said, if you can provide as a consultant for a corporation, if you can provide value that helps them in the crisis, whatever that value is, you have a moral obligation to sell that to as many people as possible. You know what I mean? And if you're selling something that's, super high price or whatever, you have to kind of navigate that depending on your deal, but you have a moral obligation to help them right now. We're marketing. We have a moral obligation. All of our clients, and we're going to try to get as many clients as possible because we feel like we have a moral obligation to help them survive so that people don't lose their jobs. If that's your motivation and it's sincere and it's real, it will come across in your messaging. But you do have to be careful. That's why I was asking everybody, is it okay if I talk about this? Because it's a sticky situation and I don't want to sound like I'm insensitive or out of touch with what's going on and the pain that people are suffering. It is a very sticky situation, but just be careful and be genuine and be real, and people are going to notice that, especially if you are providing value. If you're just trying to sell a service or product, and you're just trying to use the crisis as marketing, like, yeah, we sell marketing, we're a marketing service, so I'm going to use this and then I'm going to sell, you know, my product and just try to capitalize on it, it's going to come across. But as long as you're being genuine and you're actually trying to help, I think it's going to come out. Kay says it's exciting. Actually, it kind of is, and I hope that's not morbid to think that way, but it kind of is exciting for a lot of businesses, especially maybe the smaller ones that aren't at the enterprise level, because it is a huge opportunity to just rethink everything and reset and take all those pet projects down and just stop for a minute. How many times have we have we wished that, man, I wish I could just stop everything for a week and and completely just start from scratch, or I wish we could reset. There's all of these things that we've kind of wished before because we feel like we're flying by the seat of our pants and reacting, but we would like to get out in front of it and stop reacting. This is your chance to do that. It is exciting. Camille says, doing sales lion boot camp and doubly nervous about the idea of prospecting right now. Camille, doing the sales lion boot camp. Are you working for Marcus or are you going through his boot camp? Um, by the way, I love Marcus. I actually got to work with him for a while back when I was a whippersnapper marketer, and it was a lot of fun. Uh, so I don't know. I don't know if you mean that you're trying to do a sales line style boot camp to market during this thing, or if you're saying that you're going through his boot camp and you're super nervous about prospecting your business on the other side of that. Again, it's something. Okay, through HubSpot, Dan Tire. Um, it's it is a sticky situation, but it goes back to it's a business. Businesses have to survive. I see. I see. Um, Camille says that it's not Marcus Sheridan doing it, but it's Dan Tire doing it, and has a thing about borrowing from the Sales Lion Bootcamp thing. Um, it's difficult. I don't really have a great answer without knowing more about what you're trying to sell, or what what your business kind of is. But it really comes down to, in this time, like I said it again. Okay. Yeah. Danielle is hitting it. I don't know. There's a lot of comments coming through Facebook. So the people on YouTube, I'm trying to keep you in the loop here. Um, Camille's talking about starting HubSpot sales boot camps for agencies. Apparently, Camille, if I'm reading that right, and sorry if I'm not understanding, I think Camille is part of an agency and worried about promoting services right now. Camille, if you are an agency, you're in the same boat we're in, and it really comes down to, if you're going to help a business survive, you have a moral obligation to get their account. If you can help a business survive, you need to sell your services to them. Maybe that's at a discount, maybe it's something else. But if you can do that, and because of the expertise that you bring to the table, you're going to save somebody's job, don't sit on the sidelines. That's my point. Flip the script. It's in your head. It's the story you're telling yourself. And you do have to be careful for your message. You don't want to be just crass and whatever, but don't think that the company that you can help is thinking that about you. And you have to mess it up, basically. But if you can bring them some value and help them grow, you have a moral obligation to do that, because people's jobs are on the line, and the well-being of the company's on the line, and all of the people that rely on that company. You know what I mean? Um, Danielle says, I've been going through the digital marketer courses. Digital marketer courses are awesome. If anybody hasn't gone through those, they're certifications. They're actually really, really, really good. So I recommend them if anybody hasn't been through those yet. She says, businesses need to be able to pay their employees, so I don't think marketing is a bad thing right now. That's exactly right. Businesses have to pay their employees. There's companies that are hurting because of direct impact. There's companies like, it was in the news just a couple days ago, or maybe it was a couple weeks ago, Marriott laid off thousands of employees. Um, it's a hotel chain. Nobody's traveling right now. And so if you have no one staying in your hotel because everyone's sheltering at home, what do? And there are people that rely on Marriott to survive. But not only that, but Marriott, there's people that serve Marriott. There's agencies that serve Marriott. And those agencies have employees too. And now if Marriott can't pay the agency is hurting. And if the agency is hurting, it's everything is connected. And so if you can bring value and you can help people, like we're going to be trying to help as many people as possible, not just to keep our employees engaged, but to help them grow. And I'm actually, I'm going to talk about something here in a minute that we're doing, but it'll help. Let's see. Kay says, this is exactly what's happening with my company. We've used this time to stop and take a good look at our business, see what works and what doesn't, and re-strategize. What I'm stuck on is using the proper language to break the silence and introduce new service offerings without sounding insensitive to what's going on right now. Christina says, Digital Marketer opened up their lab and certifications for free right now. If you sign up before the end of the month, it's free through, I think, April 15th. Christina, thank you. If you haven't done Digital Marketer certification, you should go do that if it's free right now. And here's the deal. People could say, hey, digital marketers just trying to grow their list by offering this stuff for free during this time. And people could throw that on there. But on the other side, if taking that certifications help you save your company and therefore your employees' jobs, digital marketers should be thanked for that, right? And so, you can't be afraid to help people. You have a moral obligation to do that if you have anything. At Lean Labs, we're doing this right now, and I'll talk about what we're doing here in a minute. This is so, thanks so much for this. This is great. Going back to Kay's comment, how do I introduce a new service or offer without sounding insensitive to what's going on right now? Frame it. Frame it. Why are you offering that? Is it just to help your employees? If that's so, that's fine, as long as you're honest about it, right? They gained over 25,000 new students with their promotion. Hey, when this is all said and done, that's 25,000 people that they're going to be marketing to try to sell other products. So you could look at it as if digital marketer is trying to capitalize on this situation. Are they? Or is that just an assumption because we're scared to do our own marketing? Because 25,000 people right now are getting help with their business is the way I look at it. Anyway, launching new products, even if it's to help your business, why not be honest about that and say, hey, I've got 5 employees. Or even if you're a solo likepreneur and this is, you're like, it's my business. I've got, I'm hurting right now. I've got kids to take care of and feed. I've got, and so in order to do that, I've created this new offer and it's going to help people. I'm providing value through this new offer for this economic crisis to help myself and to help the people that buy it. As long as you frame it in something besides, hey, I got toilet paper on sale for $2 million. If you're framing it like that, of course it's going to be bad. Quiet Professional says, can you provide the digital marketing certification information in this thread? Seems like that comment may have been on Facebook or LinkedIn. Yes, it was. Melanie said she's not able to find the digital marketing certifications for free either, but would love more info. Danielle, you're on Facebook. All these other people are on YouTube. If you can just type that link or something into Facebook, I will copy and paste it over so that everybody can see it. I'm sure it's something that they probably sent out through email or something like that. But I would love to share it with everybody else that's on here. So let's talk. I'm just going to use ourselves as an example. All right. Because there's a reason I'm doing this training. I'm a marketer. We have a company and I'm wanting to provide value. I'm wanting to help, but I'm also wanting to keep our company running. So if there's anybody out there hurting that we can help, I have a moral obligation to help them as well. Christina says it's on their homepage. I'm going to open this right now. You're going to see me bouncing around here, but join now. It's free. So you just go to the homepage and click that. I don't know if that's the certifications or not, though. Maybe it is. Join DM Insider. It's free. I don't know if that includes their certifications. You get the DM newsletter, 5 timely tactical marketing ideas every Monday, instant access to 18 marketing tools, templates, and audits that give you. Doesn't look like that includes their certifications, though, does it? I don't know. I'm not even sure. Danielle says, oh, here we go. Christina found it. I'm not going to look at this, but I will paste the link so everyone can see it if you're interested on that. And you get certifications by passing. Danielle says you get certifications with passing the course exams. That's exactly right. But I was talking about the courses as the certification. So you can look at that as well. Thank you everyone for engaging. This has been really fun. Going back to this, using ourselves as an example, Lean Labs is going through this as well. We have clients that are actually doing really, really well. They happen to be in industries that are getting a kind of a boost from these things. And there are industries out there, like the live streaming industry right now is getting a huge boost because everybody is buying the technology. Um, and then, there's industries out there, like I said, Marriott, that's not doing very well. And we have a mixture of clients in a bunch of different industries. We have some clients that are saying, we got to pause our engagement right now because we just don't have the cash flow to pay, Lean Labs at this time. So they've kind of gone on pause. We have other clients that are, doing, like I said, very, very well. So it's kind of a mixed thing. But what are we doing now to kind of take this to the next level? And our CEO, Kevin, and I have been talking about this a lot recently because we also don't want to feel like we're trying to capitalize, but we have two goals kind of in mind. The first goal is that we have to do something, which I'm going to talk about here in a second. We have to do something so that if things get harder, if things get a little darker, if another client, or two shut down, what can we do to make sure that our employees are safe? And at the same time, what can we do to help other companies, our prospects, our clients? How can we get them and help them perform well and save jobs at them as well? So it's kind of like a two-pronged thing that we're doing. And what Kevin has decided to do is to offer this kind of special coin type thing to companies at this time. And what we're basically doing is, like, you can hire us as normal, but we've also got this thing that we're offering to companies right now, where we're just working our normal kind of thing that costs like $9,900 a month or something like that, close to that, for our clients that are with us normally, and cutting that down and just saying we're just going to work for cost, so no profit involved or whatever. We're going to strip it down and just pay our employees, but at the same time give you the same engagement that you would get at a normal rate, which is an extreme discount, and it's only going to run temporarily. But that's what we're offering to our. Matter of fact, if you go to, I can type this in here. lean-labs.com/coin. Make sure that link works. Yeah. So what we're doing this. We're offering this during this time, trying to find a way to not only keep our employees moving and working, and everybody kind of surviving here, but also helping other companies remove risk of hiring a growth team or an agency like Lean Labs. For example, right now, if you hired us normal rate, if we didn't change anything, if we didn't innovate, if we didn't respond at all, and we just carried on business as usual, most of our clients would begin working with us around a $9,900 a month retainer, and that's what would get our normal kind of 10x growth plan. But in this time, that's a huge risk. What if it doesn't work right away, or what if it doesn't work as fast as we wanted it to? We realize that is a huge risk that people just cannot take right now, at least in a lot of industries. Some industries, they're like begging for help, right? Let's maximize this right now. But in most industries, it's a risk. And we realize that companies, although they might need a company like Lean Labs, they might need the value that we provide, they don't want to take that risk. And so what we've started doing is saying, hey, we understand that it's a risk. Let's de-risk that for you, and let's do this. And I think the full offer is, we're going to do this at cost, but then, if we're successful, we do a percentage of the revenue that we bring in. So you're not paying this huge thing and seeing what comes from it. You're paying this small amount, and then you're going to, if we actually deliver and you get revenue flowing in from it, then we take a percentage of that, and it helps us to survive, but it also just removes the risk for that company as well. If you're on the call and you want help going through, I'm showing my stream stuff here. If you're on the call and you want help, go to that link that I just published in there. It's lean-labs.com/coin. Go there, and all you really have to do is schedule a call with Nate, and Nate will talk to you about your business and just see if it's a good fit, and he'll explain all of the things, like, you know, if it's 80% off what we normally charge, what does that look like? You know, we can't survive long term giving people an 80% discount. It's just not how business works. But this is not normal times, and so what we're doing is offering that for people, so that if you're hurting and you need help and you want to grow, you want to go through this coin process, you want to, you know, use a team like Lean Labs to help you grow, that we're gonna help you do that without putting you at risk or without costing you a lot of money, or no results. So that's kind of how we're approaching it, and we're going to be talking more about this. I'm going to be doing more live trainings on what to do and things that you can do. Probably live trainings on emailing, how to approach your list, things like that during this time. We're going to be talking a lot about that. But this is kind of our innovation. This is our offer that we're pivoting to. Is we don't want to cost people a lot of money to work with us. We want to help them through this time. And then here's really here's the business side, the exciting side about that. By doing this, not only are we helping companies save jobs, and think of this, put this to work in your own business as well. We're doing this huge discount thing. It's not fun, but that's kind of where we're at. We would rather be, you know, making huge amounts of money, right? Everybody would. Every company wants to maximize the revenue. However, during this time, the purpose is to make sure that we're stable and make sure our clients are growing, maximize their ability to survive this crisis. And when it all comes out and everything settles down, if we can maximize the amount of people that we help through this crisis, and then they take off and we actually help, when this thing is over, we'll have a lot more people trusting us and wanting to work with us, that it's going to help us grow on the other side as well. And so that's just kind of how it is. Christina says, we're hearing that people either, one, need to de-risk, like you're saying, and get some new things out there, or two, are financially stable and using this time to get some campaigns ready to go when the economy rebounds, since those have ramp-up time, or three, repurposing their marketing team to assist with employee communications as they work remotely and have things changing from HR and workflow standpoints nearly daily. Danielle says, are we still releasing your growth playbook? I haven't seen an email about it being released yet. Yes, Danielle, we're kind of pivoting on that as well. And so we promised it by the 24th of March, but we did not foresee, when we put that into action, we did not foresee any of this getting to the point that it's at now. So we have had to kind of pull back on that. However, we are pivoting that to an offer that's actually going to be relevant right now. And we're changing it from the playbook to a framework and several different things, but we're actually going to show our full framework in that and help people that way. But that should be coming. Our CEO, like, guys, I'm serious, and I hope he's not on the call, because his head will expand way too big. But he has been working like literally around the clock, trying to not only get stuff for our clients and not only like do what's right for our employees at the company, but he has been working hard on a coin training that's going to go even deeper than I went on this one. He is working hard on the playbook framework thing. He's doing all of this stuff. He is like super impressive right now to me as a leader and as a person even. But he's been like working really hard. So long-winded answer. I'm a long-winded person. That yes, the growth playbook is coming. It is coming very soon, but it's going to take. We're pivoting a little bit what that actually is, because of what we're doing at right now. What would have been in the normal, like what would have been in it before, would have been relevant, and will be relevant again. But during this time, it's not going to provide any value. I mean, it will, but it won't provide as much value as if we pivot it for what we're actually seeing in the world, the marketplace right now. Thank you everyone for your questions. Like I said, if you want to go to lean-labs.com/coin, you can schedule a meeting with Nate if you want to talk about what does this special limited time offer, how does that work for your company? And we'll be talking about that more and have more information on what that actually looks like. But right now, if you're interested in that, it's a huge benefit for companies because it's completely de-risking everything. De-risking working with us, at least. You can go talk to him about that. I did put limited time offer on the landing page, and here's kind of me kind of hedging that a little bit because I don't want to seem like we're doing the fake like urgency thing, like like countdown, it's going away at the end of this week, and if you don't sign up right now, you're going to miss out on this awesome opportunity. That is not what we're doing at all. The reason I put that it is a limited time thing is because we just don't know what's going to happen. And as soon as the economy turns around and, you know, our clients are safe, we're going to pull that offer off just because it's not good long-term business for us. So I don't know what's going to happen. It could be up for a couple weeks. It could be up for, you know, a month. I just don't know. So if you're interested in what that would look like for your business, go ahead and schedule that call with Nate. It's not a commitment, but you can talk about it and just see how it works for you. And if you want to jump on it now, and we'll try to help you through this time as well. Kay, thank you so much. Camille, thank you for those kind words. Thank you everybody for watching today. If there's any more questions, I'm happy to hang out here and answer them. We'll be doing another thing like this coming pretty soon. And I don't know, I'm going to check. Talked about this a lot. Nope, LinkedIn is still not working. So I don't know. I might have to redo this because I told all of my followers on LinkedIn that I was actually going to be doing this streaming straight to LinkedIn, but I'm using Restream to go to Facebook and YouTube and trying LinkedIn at the same time. And it's just not working. So I might have to stream directly to LinkedIn. Thank you, Danielle, for the kind words. Thank you, everybody. Again, I'll hang out here. There's still people on. I'll turn up the music a little bit. Get us some 80s going on here. I am not going to dance. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'll hang out here. There's still a lot of people online on YouTube and Facebook. So if you have questions or whatever about marketing during this time, I'll answer them. If not, I'll shut it down here in a minute. Thank you everybody for watching. It was fun. I actually like live streaming. It's a lot of fun. You should try it. If you need the software, again, if you're on Mac, you can try OBS. If you're on Mac, you can try Ecamm Live. But I downloaded vMix, vmix.com to do the live stream, and it forces me to use Windows, which I am not familiar with, which causes a lot of anxiety when I'm going live. It's just crazy. Nicely done. Thank you, Frank. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. At least it's not horribly done, right? All right, professionals. Thanks. This was helpful. Thank you for that as well. And we'll be doing more things like this, especially during this time. We're all stuck at home. So if you're ever going to watch someone online or a webinar or a training or anything, hey, now's the time to do that, right? And I encourage you guys, go live with your message. Now's the time to communicate. Okay, now's the time to communicate. Wow, everybody's still here. I think everybody's just hanging out to see what I'm going to do. Melanie, thank you. Thank you so much for those kind words. Just waiting a few more minutes to see if any questions come through. Usually what happens is I ask anybody if they have any questions, and then I wait for a long time and kind of stall like this, and then right before I say, okay, it's over, and I go to close it out, somebody says, oh, I have a question, and there's like 3 or 4 questions come through. But yeah, I hope I pronounced that right. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Give me a couple more minutes. I tried to download. There's a site out there. If you want to go live, there's actually a site called soundstripe.com. Soundstripe.com. You pay a monthly fee, and you get access to music that will not be copyright claimed on YouTube or Facebook. So you can use it in your live streams or your YouTube videos or stuff like that. And so I have a account with them, and I went through purposefully just because it's me, and I found as much 80s sounding music as I could. Just because the 80s are fun. All right, I don't see any more comments coming through. Pretty soon my boss is going to be sending me a message saying, hey, why are you hanging out listening to 80s music when you should be working? So I'm going to have to close this down, even though there's still a lot of people here. Now they're starting to fall off. All right. Got the threat. All right, we're gonna end it here. Thank you everybody for attending our training today. We'll probably do another one of these pretty soon, and we'll be letting you know in email. But thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate it. And again, if you want to check out what we're offering to people during this time, just go to lean-labs.com/coin. And I put that in the chat somewhere so you can find that link and you can see what we're up to. And if you want to take advantage of it, you can always just schedule a meeting with Nate and get all the details there about how that's going. Thank everybody for watching. I'm out. Talk to you later.